Hey YouTube, it's Casey here from Tax Sale Academy. Going to record an episode for the Tax Sale Podcast. If you enjoy podcasts, there's a link down below in the description. It'll take you to taxsalepodcast.com where you can download us on your favorite podcasting platform and you can listen on the go. Let's go ahead and record that audio portion right now. Welcome to the Tax Sale Podcast, where tax sale investing is made easy. My name is Casey Dimon. I'm a tax sale veteran. I'm the author of the Tax Sale Playbook, founder of the Tax Sale Academy. I'm the leading tax sale expert and trainer, and I'm your host right here on the Tax Sale Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me on today's podcast episode. This podcast is provided completely free because of the Tax Sale Academy. If you're looking to learn more about investing in tax-defaulted real estate, just head on over to taxsaleacademy.com and click on join to become a member of the Academy. There's a link down below in today's description. Today we're going back to the basics. We're going back to the beginning of your tax sale career. Now, if you're just starting out, this will be an incredible episode for you. And if you're even already a veteran, this will also be an incredible episode for you as well, because you must constantly reevaluate yourself and your business starting at the basics. So today we're talking about how you can start. How do you begin your tax sale business? What do you need to do? I get all sorts of questions related to this. Essentially, how do I start? What do I do now? That frequently pop up for me. I get them through DMs, I get them through YouTube, Facebook comments, through email. Really, anywhere anybody can find me, they'll send me this question. And I've got many YouTube videos, podcast episodes, I got a whole book, I've got lots of other resources on how to do this, but nonetheless, the startup question is always something that's asked. So I want to do an episode specifically on this topic today. I'm going to lay out a 5-step plan to help you get started. While this can be followed step by step, it's difficult to make it as comprehensive as it should in a simple podcast episode. Of course, that's the reason I have the entire academy. But understand, there's numerous steps within each one of these, but my goal is to be as simplistic as possible so you don't have any excuses when it comes to starting. Step number 1, learn. So this tax sale thing sounds pretty interesting, right? You just heard about tax liens and tax deeds, and you know that you can acquire tax foreclosed real estate for potentially pennies on the dollar. That's fantastic. However, if this is the extent of your knowledge, you will find yourself in a lousy investment and one that has the potential to financially ruin you. There, I said it. If this is all you know about this business, you will likely fail. Yet, so many people whose knowledge is nothing more than this get involved in this business. It's the equivalent of deciding to become a professional boxer one day and then the next day waking up and stepping into the ring with Tyson or Mayweather for 12 rounds. It's foolish at best and suicide at worst. Before you do anything, learn what you're doing. There are so many aspects to this business, and most of them you don't even realize exist. What's the saying? You don't know what you don't know. This is not a business where you learn by doing. This is the business where you learn before doing. Take the time to learn. Go use the resources that we offer. Find a local mentor. Let us be your mentor. Whatever it is, take the time to learn and don't rush this process. Don't rush through the trainings or any learning just because you're so eager to get started. Be patient here. You're trying to create the earnings of a doctor or a lawyer who spent many, many years in school, but you want to do it in a week? It just doesn't make sense. Understand that learning about the process, your state, your strategies, your laws, everything, that is the most important aspect to be successful in this business. Number 2, determine your approach. Once you know the process, once you understand how everything works and you're gaining the required knowledge to start investing, determine your approach. Here are a few things to consider. Should you invest in tax liens or tax deeds? Liens will usually require less work, but you'll also get lower returns, while deeds will provide higher returns and require more work. So how much time do you realistically have? If you have 5 hours every single month, your approach is going to be a lot different than the person that has 5 hours every single day. How about the next one? It's kind of important. How will you fund your investments? Yes, you can buy properties extremely cheap. That requires patience and being extremely selective. But maybe you're using a credit card or some sort of personal loan. Perhaps you're looking for a partner. Now is the time to start answering all these questions and everything else involved in your tax sale business. There is not a single approach that works best for everybody. Everyone has different answers to those questions that will help you determine your approach. All this stuff, when accounted for properly, will help you determine the best approach for you. Next step, involvement and practice. Just being in the action is very, very helpful. Whether it's hanging out at the baseball field as a kid while you're trying to learn baseball, or being around friends who have specific skills, just by being there, you will learn. Tax sale investing, it's no different. One of the major suggestions that I have for new investors who are looking to learn about this business is to go to an auction. Find an in-person auction, hopefully, and go to it. You can even register. That way you gain that experience in registering, get all the butterflies out of your stomach right then and right there, even if you don't plan on buying anything, right? But go to an auction. Pay close attention to everything that's going on. Watch the bidders. Listen to the rules. Listen to the chatter. Talk to other attendees. Get involved. Be social. This is where you really want to start tying in all the computer learning into real world training. On that same token, it's time to start practicing. Use Monopoly money here, right? Pretend you're investing. Research a list. Determine comps. Really ask yourself, would I buy this property? And if so, what would I pay? Then follow up on those results. See what it sells for at auction. Would your max bid amount have even been competitive? Then do the same practice for an auction that took place maybe 12 or 18 months ago. Go back, get a copy of the previous auction results, research a few of them, determine a bid amount for those properties, see what was paid at that time, and then research it a little bit more to see what that specific investor ended up doing with that property. If anything, get involved and practice. There's nothing like the real world stuff. The next one, prepare for opportunity. I've always spoken out against putting yourself on an artificial timeline to buy real estate. There's just too much that's out of your control. The auction dates, the properties that are offered, the competition, there's so much out of your control. I just don't agree with the approach of buying a property in 30 days or 60 days or whatever you set, right? Instead, here's my suggestion. Set your goal of being ready to buy a property in that time period. Tell yourself, if the right opportunity comes, I will be mentally and financially prepared to take advantage of the opportunity in 30 days, 60 days, whatever it is. Everything up to this point should have you prepared for this, should have you ready to pull the trigger and take advantage of that opportunity. It's just time to really hone in now on what you're doing. It's time to get focused, time to dig deeper, research more thoroughly, review more lists, do whatever you have to do to gain that undeniable confidence that you must have to be ready to take advantage of opportunity. And this is something that should continue indefinitely. You must constantly be learning, studying, gaining the experience, whether it's practice or live experience, all while preparing yourself for that next opportunity. The last step, take action. And believe it or not, this can actually be the most difficult for many new investors. First off, if you get to this step and you don't have the confidence required, if you just aren't comfortable, if something tells you in your gut that something is wrong, then you probably didn't do the first 4 steps properly. Go back and do all those steps. You either don't have any practice in place, or most likely you didn't learn the way you should have learned. That's okay. Just go back and address it now. Other investors get to this step and just nothing meets their objectives. Nothing works out the way that they want it to, right? The properties sell for too much. It's not the right kind of properties, whatever it is. And that's okay. You have 2 options here. You can either choose to be patient and wait for the right property to come along, for the right opportunity to come along, because it likely will at some point, or you can start modifying your objectives. Change areas, change property types, go to more auctions, just modify things in small amounts until you see the success that you desire. But whatever you do, take action. While every single step to this point is paramount to your success in this business, this is the only step that will actually create that success for you. You must take action. So there you have it. 5 steps to getting started. Learn, learn, learn. Second one was to determine the best approach for you. Third one was to become involved and practice. The 4th one, prepare for that right opportunity. And lastly, take action. Learning to be a successful tax sale investor is something that takes time, effort, and discipline. I'm very confident that if you follow these steps thoroughly, you will see success. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. Inside the Tax Sale Academy, we discussed this topic in depth. We know that many of our students are brand new tax sale investors, and we really do everything in our power to get you prepared to go out there and to make money in this incredibly lucrative tax sale business. If you're interested in joining, head on over to TaxLawAcademy.com and click on join to become a member of the Academy. I truly hope that you found this episode and every other episode that we post here on the Tax Law Podcast very helpful and beneficial for your business. If you do, please take just a second out of your day to leave us some positive feedback. We read each and every single positive feedback comment, and we notice every single 5-star review, and we are so thankful and so grateful for you all who have taken the time to do so already. Thank you again. Take care. Bye-bye.